Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Outliers YouTube channel and podcast series and our program, Get to Know. I'm your host, DP Lyle, and I'm here with my partner in crime, Kathleen Antrim.
Thanks, Doug. It is great to be here, and I am really excited about this guest. I think you're going to find her quite interesting and quite humorous. She writes dark humor. She's an international bestseller. She's got a new book coming out. Oh my gosh, you all are going to want to run out and get this book. I got to tell you. Welcome, Samantha Downing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And the book is out. It came out in
Yes.
August, so you can get
But
it
yeah,
now.
you've got it. Well, we'll get there, but you're going to have to get this book because everybody needs a little chuckle, and this book is fabulous. So, Samantha, I always like to kind of delve into the background of our authors who come on and get to know, and I would really like to know how you feel your childhood may have contributed to you becoming a writer. Did you have imaginary friends? Were you an outgoing child, an introverted child? Did you read a lot? How do you think that impacted you?
I was pretty introverted as a child. I read a lot. My mom used to take us to the library every 2 weeks, and it was like a big thing. It was a big, exciting thing for us to get a stack of books. And part of the time, after about 10 years old, I grew up as an only child. So I spent a lot of time alone. My brother went to live with my father. So we were separated by, divorce. And so at that point, I read a lot. I spent a lot of time alone and found myself telling stories in my head, really. And I used to like daydream in school and be making up stories in my head. And so I think just being the love of reading, first of all, was the first thing. And then eventually just wanting to also then tell my own stories. Certainly that's the way I think for a lot of writers. We all start as readers. So you have to love reading to be a writer.
Well, I know myself, I used to tell myself stories at night, and that's how I'd put myself to sleep. And if it was a really juicy story, it would go several nights. If it wasn't that great of a story, it was like a one night stand. That was that. It was over with. But yeah, did you have any imaginary friends?
No, not really. Nothing specific. I mean, I think I used to play little games with my dolls and probably have they had conversate, make little stories with the dolls. So I guess they were, but not like a separate entity. It was attached to a physical thing.
So tell us how, okay, so you go through school, and then how did you end up, did you have a career before you became a writer? How did you decide to go and really, delve into this and go full steam ahead? I mean, how did that all come
Oh
about?
yeah, I went to school and majored in international studies. I did not major, and I wasn't even thinking about writing at that time, or as a career at least. So I had um, I started writing in my 20s when I got my first computer and my first personal computer, I guess, and did it as a hobby for a very long time. I never actually thought I could be a published writer. Whenever I looked into publishing, it seemed like this crazy labyrinth of agents and publishers, and you had to know somebody and be published in the New Yorker or something. And I just thought, well, that's never going to happen. I'll just do it because I like it. So I wrote for 20 years. I wrote 11 books, and
Wow.
my 12th was my debut that was published. So I had a
Wow.
whole nother life that had nothing to do with writing whatsoever for a
Now,
very,
were you in
and
the closet or did you tell your friend, like, do people
yeah,
know you were writing?
some friends knew, and they eventually just got tired of reading stuff because a lot of that old stuff was really bad. So they, and then I joined a writers group, and started getting some objective feedback on my writing, which was the first time I really ever had that, and it really helped. And it was while I was at that writers group, I started writing My Lovely Wife, which became my debut.
Yeah.
Wow, so cool.
But
So talk.
that's not an unusual story that
Mhm,
writers will write several books before something hits.
Hmm.
Dean Koontz, Stephen King, I mean, the big names, they will all tell you the same story. The
Hmm.
fact is you persevered is what's amazing because a
Hmm.
lot of people write a couple of books and say, well, I can't do this and nobody wants to read my stuff. So I'm going to do something else. But if you love writing, you can't do something else, right?
Right. And I would do it. I say this if I was not selling books and could not get a publishing contract, that would not stop me from writing. I
Right.
wrote for the love of writing for 20 years. Only recently in 2019 did I start actually selling any of it or making any money. So if it all ended tomorrow, I'm still here and I'm still writing books. I don't write because I want to be published. I
Right.
wrote in spite of the fact that I never thought I could be published.
You kept writing because you're a writer.
Yeah.
We have Doug's wearing our Outliers hat, and I think this hat completely describes you. On the back of it in Latin, it says "Scribo ergo sum," which is "I write, therefore I am."
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's, I mean, that's absolutely,
Yeah.
obviously who you are. Can you tell us a little bit about your process when you're writing?
Yes, I write every day, every single day, whether it makes it into a book or not. I'm a pantser through and through. I don't plot. I don't know the ending of the book when I start. I
Yep.
and I write at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I get up first thing in the morning and write. Even I did it when I had a full-time job. That's when I had the time to write, and I continue to do it now. At the moment, I'm a full-time writer, and maybe that'll continue, maybe it won't, but I have kept that schedule. When I'm in the middle of the book, my goal is to write at least 1,000 words a day. So theoretically, I would have 90,000 words in 90 days. But because
Right.
I'm a pantser, a lot of times I delete stuff and change stuff as I
Right.
go. So it takes me a few months, I would say 3 months, between 3 and 4 months, I can have a fairly clean first draft of like I've
Hmm.
sort of, because I
Yep.
edit and write, and then can really dig in and see where the problems are and whatnot. And I throw out far more than ever gets published because I start stories that don't go anywhere. A
Yep.
premise is not a story. So I
Right.
have a lot of great premises that don't turn into full length novels. And so by the time I get to about 20,000 words, I pretty much know whether I have paths forward or whether this is not a book. And so I have a ton of files that are 20,000 words long that I have abandoned because I've decided there's not enough. At least for me, it's not the book for me to write. It might be for somebody else, but that idea is not going to be a book for me.
Could it
Hmm.
be a short story?
Possibly,
Yeah.
possibly.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you don't throw them out. I'm glad that you keep
Oh,
them.
I
That
delete a
is.
lot of them. Every
Well.
time I change computers, I delete everything. So I don't want
Ah,
that stuff being published if I die. Like I don't like
I
it.
get
If I
that.
liked it, I would keep it, you
Well,
know?
I'm a pantser too, and this popped up on the internet to show you this. It popped up on the internet, some one of the social media things, and it struck me as yes, I wish I had written this, but there it is.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Hmm.
And of course, intuitively, you know that.
Hmm.
And that's what you're doing because you're trying
Hmm.
to figure out the story as you write. The plotters among us do all that ahead of time. To me, I tried that for the first 5 or 6 books I wrote, and I found out the writing was laborious then because I'd already told myself the story, and then it was work. But if I just started writing and say, I don't know what's going to happen next, let's just play with it and see. But you end up moving stuff around. But at the end of the day, it's a lot more fun.
It's a lot more fun. It's the least time effective way to write, but to me, it's a lot more fun.
Yep.
So every time I have plotted and I have tried, um,
Yep.
I tend to then telegraph everything when I write it because I know what all the twists are and I know what
Right.
all the plot points are.
Right.
And it suddenly becomes incredibly predictable because nothing is organic about it. It's just all planned. And so it doesn't work for me, but for plotters, they seem to be far more efficient in their writing and they seem to write more books than I do or finish more
Yeah.
books than I do.
Well,
I
what
don't
one of
know.
my
I mean,
series is humorous. It's a humorous thrillers, and Jake is sarcastic, and there's a lot of dark humor, and there's a lot of stuff like that, which brings me to this.
Yay!
I absolutely love this because
mhm.
yeah, I hear my voice in this a lot because you are weird, and that's a good thing. So tell us, how did you come up with Lottie Jones, and did you have as much fun as it sounds like you did with her?
Oh, definitely. One of the things I wanted to do with this book was to I saw that there were a number of books coming out that had older protagonists, which is something we've seen over the years. I mean, Agatha
Hmm.
Christie did it with Miss Marple, and Perot, that having an older character as a protagonist. But most of them were detectives or sleuths that were solving murders. So I just wanted to flip that around and
Yeah.
make it as a make my older protagonist the villain or the killer in the story, in this case a serial killer.
Yeah.
And I thought for me and the kind of stuff I write, that is the kind of stuff I write. A lot of my books are
Yeah.
villain as protagonist, or not a traditional protagonist, more along the lines of Dexter.
And when you pick up this book and start reading it, the first chapter, the last sentence, you'll say, "What?" Because
Yes,
Plum Dixon shouldn't have knocked on the door. I'll just
yes,
leave it at that. But it goes
yes.
on and on and on and on from there. And it's shocking, but yet tongue-in-cheek funny at the same time. And I love her quirky slant on life. And then
Hmm.
you find out she's actually a serial killer. So it's like, yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. A lot of the book is only told from her perspective. There's no other
Right,
points of view. So you're in her head the whole time, and
right.
you see the story only through her eyes and her reasoning. And she's super funny and she's
She
snarky,
is.
and she's an older woman who is,
Right.
75 years old, and she's done a lot. She's killed a lot, and it's time to go back to work.
Yeah.
So her life is she's technically retired, but her life now, her quiet retirement life, is being threatened because somebody threatens to expose her.
Right.
So everything she's doing now is about protecting her life the way it is.
And she's
And
earned the right to be crabby.
right, exactly.
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 A
So I
crabby serial murderer. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
totally, totally. And she was just a blast to write for me.
Yes,
She
I
was
can
so
Oh,
much
see it.
fun.
It comes through on the page, and I'm thinking this just flows. And it's one of those things, when I get into that writing my humorous series, it's that way. You start living with these characters, and it's like, I wish I could do all this in real life. You
Hmm.
know, not necessarily go out and kill people, but maybe. But the point is, I wish I could say these things, to
Yeah.
people without them running away screaming, "What's wrong with you?" Yeah, I
not
love
to
it.
give anything away in the book, but by chance, might you do more with this character in a
I don't
series?
know. I've never done any kind of a sequel or a series, but I also say never. So
Right.
it was written as a standalone. So we'll see.
Sure. It's just
Well,
such
I
a
love this
unique,
cover.
amazing.
I mean,
Isn't
Yes,
it great?
I
it's
I was
fabulous.
absolutely love it.
so excited when I saw this cover, because this is the kind of cover where somebody could look at it and know exactly if it's a book they want to read or not. It's
Right.
clearly about
Sure.
an older woman who is violent, and
Yes.
she is too old for this. Now, if that is not your thing,
Yeah.
okay, you do. But if that
Yeah.
is your thing, it is not. It is not showing you it's something that it's not. It's showing
Yeah.
you
Right,
exactly what the book is in
Well,
that
the
picture.
right.
colors are great. It's just everything about it is just
Yeah, it's
cool.
very
It's
cool.
just
Yeah.
cool.
Very,
Yeah.
very
And the
cool.
hammer is in the book. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
thing in the book.
exactly.
So
Now, by chance, is this character based on anybody you know?
no one in particular, no. I mean,
Okay.
my characters are amalgamations of my imagination and maybe character traits and things. My
Mhm.
grandmother was very into playing bingo, and had a whole social group that revolved around it, and they
Yep.
went on bus trips to bingo. So I sort of pulled that in. So there's small things that I put in, traits or attributes that might belong
Sure.
to a real person, but she's completely a fictional. She's just her own entity now in my head.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, I
But she's going
love
to be a
it.
hard character to walk away from,
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
because she is so engaging.
Hmm.
That's the word. You really
Hmm.
fall into her mindset
Hmm.
and start rooting for her and all of that stuff. The protagonists are supposed to do to readers, and she sure does it.
Well, she is the hero of her own story. So,
Exactly.
you
Whatever
know,
that story is. Yeah. So
I
Love
what's
it.
think
next for
people
you?
I
Oh,
think
Yeah.
people root for her to get away with it, but it's really
yes.
hard to say I root for her to kill people.
Right.
Right,
So,
right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm writing another thriller that right now we'll see how it goes. Again, the pantsing thing. So it's actually totally different than this one. So maybe I just needed a break from being in a serial killer's head for a little
Is
while.
it humorous though?
Yeah, there's
Is it?
always
Yeah,
humor in my,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't write bleak books. None of my books
Right.
are bleak or depressing or
Mm,
so serious. It's funny that something like murder can actually
humorous.
apply to so many different tones. You know, it can be
Mhm.
cozy, it can be
Mm-hmm.
funny, it can be very serious, it can be very depressing. So murder is one of those sort of crimes where there are some crimes you can't make fun of and you can't make them
Right.
funny at all. But
No, exactly.
murder, we seem to be able to
Yeah,
make
yeah. Hey,
funny.
yeah. He needed killing. You know,
Yeah.
there is that.
Well, Samantha, tell our listeners where they can learn more about you, where they can buy your books, and all that good stuff.
Yep. My website is samanthadowning.com. There are links there to my social medias. I'm mostly on Instagram or maybe Facebook, but mostly Instagram. And they're sold everywhere. So you can get them at whatever your favorite indie store. If it's not there, they can order it or Barnes and Noble or online or whatever your preferences. They're available. And they're available in right now. This one is in hardcover. It was just released in August. Hardcover, ebook, and audiobook. And I will say the audiobook narrator, Elizabeth Wiley, boy, does she nail the character of Lottie.
Okay.
I keep hearing from audiobook listeners that they are raving about Elizabeth Wiley's
Cool.
narration. So if audiobooks are your jam, take a listen, see
Right.
if you like it.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for being with us. It's been a fabulous interview. You're really fun. Can't wait to have you back on with the next one to see what you're doing next.
Thank you.
And I also want to ask our viewers to please click the thumbs up. Helps with the algorithms and getting the interviews out. And subscribe if you'd like to. Just click that button. It's free. And you won't miss any of our interviews. Doug, I'll throw it back to you.
Well, once more, everybody take a look at this. Go buy this book and read it, or get the audio file and listen
Mhm.
to it while you're driving around. You will laugh out loud and you will say, "Why am I laughing at this at the same time?" But it's very good and very engaging with a great character. And we absolutely want to have you back um,
Absolutely.
with your next book. So keep us in the loop, and we will set up another one of these and chit chat and go from there. Are you going to be coming to Left Coast Crime, perchance?
Yes, I
Yeah,
am. I
I'll be
am. It's
there.
right in San Francisco.
Yeah, I'll be there. And Kimberly said I had to, so I will
Well,
be
I'll
there.
see you there
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, exactly. Well, we want to thank everybody for listening. We want to thank Samantha for being here with us. And as you know, here on Get to Know, we'll be back with other interviews down the road. And until then, keep reading, keep writing, keep having fun, and try not to get caught.